Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. And hey, so that thing with the Zach Smith suing Gen Con, I shared it on the blog, and Zach has been commenting. So we shall see at the tencarstavern.com. Uh, I'm surprised he's commenting. The comments aren't deep. It's not earth shattering, but I'm just surprised that he's making public statements after filing the lawsuit. But neither here nor there. So I figured today I'd step away from the recent dramas. I'd step away from the zines, and I opened up my player's handbook, my 1A copy of the player's handbook. You know, with the idol on the cover with the thieves prying out that huge fucking red gem from one of the eyes. And it occurred to me, in any legitimate campaign, not talking about the campaign that I ran in my teen years where, it was, we rotated the GM occasionally and we had, you'd run your own PCs. So it means you'd maybe leave a magic item for your paladin. Oh no, the paladin in the party. Look at that. How did that Holy Avenger get awarded to the paladin? I don't know. I don't know how that happened. But it occurred to me that the only time I've seen a group go beyond name level was at that time. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. All right. I'm not saying groups don't play like that. I'm not saying such game levels can't be attained. What I'm thinking though is I'm looking at like the 7th level and 6th level, well, especially the 7th level cleric spells. These are all potentially game changing. Resurrection, you bring someone back. Restoration, you return lost levels. Regenerate, you fix a lost limb, right? Gate, and these are not spells that you're gonna. Oh, I'll make sure I have regenerate save. No, these are spells that like gate, earthquake, astral spell, control weather. These are things that generally are more than combat spells, right? These are spells that have a huge effect. Clone. For an 8th level magic is a spell. Glass steel. Symbol. Symbol's a weird one. Again, gate. Imprisonment. Power word kill. Jeez. These are not things that you want to run adventures with where your party has these spells at their beck and call. You don't. I've always felt that the higher level spells, pretty much anything above 5th. Well, the kitty's jumping up on her perch. I don't know if you heard that. But my thought, especially after TMing those higher level adventures for high level magic users and clerics and illusionists, was that high level spells are best when they're cast either by an NPC at a huge cost to the PCs. Oh, you need this limb regenerated. Well, that's going to cost you. I don't want your money. I want you on a quest, right? Or it's stuff that's found in a scroll, right? So that means all right, I have put one resurrection spell in the hand of my party. So I know that. I know what they're carrying, right? If they have one wish spell, you know what they're carrying. You give that magic user a scroll with clone on it. You're like, You're prepared for it, right? You're like, you gave it away. And your party, your players, for the most part, they're the ones that have to push all the buttons in the dungeon, right? Can't leave shit undisturbed. At some point, they're going to use those spells. All right, they're going to use that gate spell. that astral projection spell just because it's there. So give it. I'm not saying don't give it to him. Give it to him on a scroll. Give it to him on a one-use item, and have something ready for it. Have something on the side ready for when they decide to poke the bear. I just don't, and it's just my opinion. Doesn't mean that if you play it differently that you're wrong. Okay. I just feel the game breaks down at the higher levels. That the importance of your fighters and your spellcasters just totally breaks down. I think that most spellcasters, arcane casters, what do you want to call them, the wizards, the magic users, are weak up until about 5th level, and then from 5 to 9, 5 to 10, the classes have a pretty good parity going, at least in AD&D. And then after that, it breaks down. You know, your magic users start getting more powerful spells. Even your clerics do. And it just breaks. But having these higher level spells available as one-shots via scrolls, or maybe even a potion if like you want to throw something in there, it's like, oh, well, you know, the party has an illusionist, but no magic user, but I want to put clone into the mix, I can give them a potion, right? It's just that as a GM, then you have some control and you have some ability to prep. And it's fun. I can recall running high-level adventures, and at those levels I was discussing, it wasn't fun. And I recall playing in them, and it wasn't fun. Because here's the deal. Once you hit those high levels, from my experience, again, your experience may be different. Either you kill everything in the adventure without working up a sweat, or the party is TPK'd. Because that balance is hard to reach as a GM, and I don't know if any pre-written adventures are done well for it. And now, all right, if the GM is willing to improv on his feet and these creatures are too weak, I will make them stronger right now, and the players will never know. Or this thing is kicking the player's ass. Time for me to crank its power level down behind the screen so the players won't know. But if you're going to play it as the dice are, I don't even think any party's going to reach that level. Because, again, if you're playing it legitimately, it's going to swing a bit too much. Just my experience. But, again, you can have fun with a lot of those higher level abilities, those higher level spells, by just throwing them out there on a scroll. The power of scrolls. The power of scrolls compels you. The power of scrolls. So, on a totally different side note, tomorrow is Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Bad Mike and myself will be joined by none other than Jim Wampler. Yes, the man who wrote the MCC RPG, right? Yeah. That's what it's called. It's on my game shelf. Amongst other things. So Jim is a fun guy. He's got opinions. Not afraid to share them. So if you would like to hear an opinionated podcast, join us. And yes, I know that Joe and I avoid talking anything about identity politics. Yes, I'm not going to say who said that, but it's true. And Mike and I avoid it mostly too, because we don't need it. We don't need it in our games for one thing, but we still need to talk about it. So, not so much an avoidance as non-interest in it, at least in this format. All right, folks. For those of you who recently started listening, because of he who shall not be named, Jack, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you'll enjoy this podcast. If not, God bless. I'm glad you stopped by in any case. Folks, we are in the midst of the world of the pandemic. So we'll talk about high-level spells. I think magic users start reaching their own once they get sleep, well, sleep is good, but it's a one shot. But Fireball, right? Fireball's every magic user wants to hit and think, now I can burn shit. Well, you always tell me, and I say always, all my players always tell me I would never throw a Fireball into a 10 by 10 room if I knew I was going to get blowback on it and toast half my party. I have too much common sense for that. We're in the midst of the world of COVID. Even with states opening up, Texas is going to be opening up, I guess, a week from tomorrow. 100% open, no mask mandate. Great. But you know what actions you need to take to keep yourself healthy, because you can't be healthy. You can't be sick and help others, right? And because you put them at risk. So you have to be healthy so you can help the people you care about. So take the precautions that your common sense dictates. That's all. I have to take more precautions. I'm a bit higher risk. But once I have my second shot, and I am, whatever they call it, not fully immunized. Well, I guess so. Once it's taken full effect, I can get out there a bit more. I'm looking forward to it. Folks, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I will talk with you all tomorrow live, 8 p.m. with Bad Mike. Oh, and this Friday, 8 p.m. with Glenn Hellstrom. We have a special guest, and it will be the 1,000th episode of this podcast. Tavern Chat. Go figure. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Latest.